Hello there everyone and welcome back. Today we are going to be talking about the viability of Bastet, and we're going to be discussing things like build choices, matchups, as well as the overall feel of the god in the current meta. So Bastet as a character is all about diving into the enemy, using all of her abilities, and then getting out using her ability. For those of you that don't know, Bastet's first ability is a leap, but if you press the leap again within a certain amount of time, you can leap back to the original location that you left from. So this is very good for Bastet getting in, poking hard, and then bailing. So now let's start diving into the viability of the character. And starting today, the definition I'm going to use for viability of the character is going to be based on three categories. First, the strength of the character in its intended role. Second, the cost effectiveness of the character's build. And three, the way the character performs against the top picks that currently exist in the meta. So let's dive in by talking about the viability of the character in its intended role. So Bastet as a jungler doesn't have a great time. Her early game camp clear is one of the worst in the role. She pretty much has to use her second ability for clear, and the fact that that ability takes so long to come out and do the full intended damage is a detriment to the character. So right off the hop, you are going to be behind. You can make Bastet's early clear a little bit better by picking up Golden Blade, but that means you are going away from the traditional build path of full power. And while we're on the subject of doing damage, Bastet is great at doing damage, but it's the matter of getting that damage online that is unsafe, takes a while, and certainly is not as fast as the other characters that exist in the current meta. So for this category, the strength and intended role, Bastet is going to be getting a fat D. Not great. Certainly could be worse. She's not failing. She's still an okay jungler. Like, you can still play her in the role, but it's a D for this category. So now let's move on to our next category, which is going to be the overall cost and effectiveness of the character's build. So on screen now, you're going to see the build that I prefer to use. Do note, I have experimented and have tried full attack speed Bastet. And though I did find success in a couple games, it is not consistent, and the dive potential plus the ability for you to get shut down is too high, and the risk does not outweigh the reward. So for Bastet, you are going to be going with traditional full power, where you just hop in, blow your kit, and back out. So this build overall is going to do a lot of damage, and it isn't more expensive or less expensive than a normal jungler build that I would expect to come out. So overall for this category, Bastet is on par, and our on par rating is going to be a B. Now our final category for this video is going to be, what does this character do against the top picks that currently exist in the meta? So let's break these down one at a time. We'll fire them off. First, we have the typical jungle matchup of Pele. Bastet gets murdered by Pele. All Pele has to do is the moment she sees Bastet jump in, pop her 2, Bastet gets knocked up, then can't use her 1 to get back out because the time will have expired, and then Pele does Pele things and Bastet falls to the floor. The other jungle matchup you could see is Mercury, and you can sometimes beat Mercury, but if Mercury wants to, he is going to ult you, CC you, and murder you with crit. The only time you come out ahead as Mercury is if you are consistently poking him down and have like a Geb on your team that's going to be able to give you a shield to help you get out of trouble. Now let's start talking about picks from other roles. Bastet can't do much into Athena because late game when Bastet jumps in, Athena taunts and then Bastet dies. If you go into a Geb, if you play around the rollout at the ultimate, you can do alright, but overall same effect. Geb is going to CC you and you are going to die. Bastet really has no safe way to escape. If you pick up Blink, you can blink in and then jump out, but you also would have to burn your beads if they're trying to CC you down. Bastet overall is a very all or nothing character and does okay from ahead, but from behind they're basically useless, and I already discussed the fact that you are already going to be behind. So for this final category, I'm giving Bastet a C, which makes the character overall sitting at a C. And what a C character does is it basically means in Conquest, certainly not a good look. Doesn't bring a lot. However, in casual game modes, I had a lot of fun playing Bastet in Clash. I had fun playing Bastet on Arena. The character still works. The problem is, in those game modes are making up for Bastet's biggest weakness, which is early game farm. So if you can get her to late game, Bastet's a good time. That's all the time that I have for this video. Thank you all so much for watching. Debate me in the comment section down below. Subscribe if you're new, and I will see you guys in the next video. Have yourselves a casual day.